into the ground. Hi guys, welcome back. We're out here today to do a Dakota fire pit, which is a fire that's actually under the ground. So let me show you how to get this done and why it's useful. All right. So let's talk about what the Dakota fire pit is quickly. What it is it's essentially a hole in the ground where you put your fire. It's fantastic because it protects against the wind if you have really aggressive wind and you can't keep a flame. And second of all, it's really good for if you don't want to be seen by people. If you're trying to keep a little bit of a low profile, you're obviously not going to get as much light off the fire. So anybody glancing over might just miss you. There'll be other advantages of it, but those are my two favourites. So what I've seen in the past with people doing this in video, and I've never seen them do it the way I do it, and everything's the exact same. It's just the order of which it's done. What I always see is people digging a hole first, digging the hole for the fire first, and then putting the exhaust hole in. Now what I mean by that is, when you dig the fire, there's a hole that you need to make to go on the side to feed it with air. Because obviously with it being underground, it's not going to get airflow, so you have to put that in yourself. But what I've always seen, as I said, the hole gets made and then they knock in the exhaust, which we're going to do with a big stick. But when I've tried to do that in the past, and I can't imagine how many outtakes other people have of it, the bit between the exhaust and the new hole, because you're putting force through it, it collapses. And it's of no use to you. So how I've always done it, and how it's always worked for me, is I put the exhaust hole in first. I get an idea of the length of the stick, how much it's penetrated into the ground, and then I dig the hole then. And then it never ever falls. It never breaks. And that's what we're going to do today. All right, guys, let's give this a go. So I've already marked out where I'm wanting my the fire pit and the exhaust to be. So this is going to be where the little pit is. Now the pit is only going to be about 6-inch diameter. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to be a big roaring thing. And this is where I'm going to put my exhaust. And this is how I'm going to make it. Now, this piece of wood I have carved slightly to make it easier to penetrate into the ground. Obviously, if it's just if you just cut it here and did it, you're going to have a lot of resistance. This, just the little gradient on it is going to make it a wee bit easier. All right, so what we're going to do is line it up at quite a low gradient, and then and hammer it in. All right, we have our exhaust in, and I'm not going to take that stick out until I've dug this hole. Because obviously if you take the stick out, you're leaving a weak spot, you're leaving a hollow spot, which if you put any weight against, could potentially collapse. So what I'm looking to do is I'm going to dig down here until this hits that wood. Then I'll know the depth that I need to get to. So the hole is now dug, and you can see where the piece of wood has came through for the exhaust. And this is all still intact. None of this has fallen in from the force. As I said, if you dig this first and you start hitting for this side, this could all collapse because of the force. So I would always do the exhaust first and then dig the hole for the fire. Now what we're going to do, we're literally just going to pull this out and then put a fire in it. So this is the test, guys. This is the most important bit, pulling this out without it collapsing. So best thing to do, twist it a few times just to loosen up anything that's in there. And there you have it. Out, easy peasy. And you now have an exhaust for the fire pit. Now let's get this lit. And there we have it, guys. An almost invisible fire. And that is getting fed through this exhaust here. It's keeping that burning. And that is it, an easy how-to on a Dakota fire pit. Alright guys, I hope you have a nice day. Hope you look after each other. And I'll see you in the next video.